Welcome to the Orion Sportscast Podcast, the most refreshing analysis, insight, and opinions in the world of sports. Here are your hosts, Josh Egan and Brandon Waterhouse.
NHL, do you want to hear what they were?
I'd love to.
Okay, let's do a quick game here. I got a good idea. I'm going to read them out quickly. All I want you to say is good or bad, and then I'm going to move on to the next one, and then we'll go in depth to more of them. Good? Sound good? All right, ready? Okay, Corey Perry with the Habs, 1 year, $750,000, good or bad?
It's good.
Andreas Anastasiou with the Kings, 1 year, $1.2 million, good or bad?
It's good.
Mike Hoffman with the Blues on a professional tryout, good or bad?
It's good.
And Craig Anderson with the Capitals on a professional tryout, good or bad?
It's bad.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll get to that. Okay, so Corey Perry with the Habs. I have my thoughts on this. I want to hear yours first.
I have a couple thoughts just because of what the slander's been towards, like, everything that happens with the Canadians has to go back to the Leafs on Twitter, especially when
Leafs live rent-free in every fan base's head, and honestly, I'm here for it.
the correlation of what I saw and the reality of the Corey Perry signing was that people thought it was to combat Wayne Simmons or like make a even comparison in what Montreal and Toronto tried to get in like tough guy players, right? Like it's not a comparison. It's really not really. It's a 1 year deal, league minimum. I'm not too worried about it. He'll do a couple things, but who knows? Yeah. He's kind of.
Well, here's the thing.
For a shortened season, he'll have his impact, and he'll be a really good asset. So it's good, but
you know what?
It has no comparison. Yeah.
He's an older player on the decline, so a shortened season may help him because he was fantastic in last year's playoffs.
Exactly.
But here's my thoughts on this. If the Habs got him to combat the Leafs' new toughness, which honestly isn't that tough, it's just some added what they call grit, right? Like Simmons isn't going to go out there with his main goal to drive somebody's head through the ice. It's going to be to work hard in the corners, get the puck to the middle of the ice, and so somebody can get it in the net. And then if something comes up, he's there to help that. Same with Bogosian, same with Brody. Joe Thornton can even step in there. But the signing of Corey Perry, Habs fans on Twitter, does not make you a cup favorite, nor will it ever make you a cup favorite. So stop tweeting that because your team is not a cup favorite. They're not even a top 5 team in the Canadian division right now. Sorry, that's harsh. They're not a top 4 team in the Canadian division right now. Okay? So get that out of your brains. You're going to go 7-3 against the Leafs this year. You're going to squeeze 3 wins out, 2 of them in overtime, and one of them is going to be a 1-goal game where our backup goalie starts. So get your act together. Flip it.
Go Leafs. Next signing, Andreas Anastasiou. I like this because I know that he has a lot to offer. He's young, but he's kind of been tossed around the league now. I know he's a Canadian, he's local, and he's kind of a hard worker, but he has a lot of skill too. He had some highlight reels over his past couple seasons, so I just hope he can get more ice time.
Right, he's a fast player. He can control the puck. He had some rough luck. He played in Edmonton. I think there was some injuries involved as well. He couldn't quite get things going. So I think this 1 year deal in LA is going to be good for him because he can carry a load on a top 2 line role. And I think LA's I got to give credit to LA here. They're kind of thinking outside the box because a player like this, I believe, if Quinton Byfield makes the team, Anastasiou is going to complement him very well, right? Because Byfield's a big body who can get to the front of the net, and Anastasiou is going to get that puck to him. So I liked the signing. I thought it was good value, $1.2 million, 1 year, no commitment on either end. I liked it. It was good.
So we got Hoffman signing the PTO.
Okay, so the Hoffman deal, I have an inside scoop for you. The Hoffman deal on January 13th is going to be signed for $5.2 million.
You heard it here first, okay?
For 1 year. It's going to be between 5.2 and 5.5.
How do you think he'll mesh with that lineup?
30 goal scorers, a 30-goal scorer. Right?
Okay, then we got Anderson at the Caps. Want to hear why I don't think it's great? I just don't think Anderson's that good.
So, okay.
And I don't think that Ovechkin's going to want someone like who's below mid.
Right. So I'll play devil's advocate here. What other options did the Caps have? Because their only other option was waiting for the waiver wire. And because of the position they finished in last season, they might not get first pick at a goaltender on the waiver wire. Right? So you take the best goalie available who's not signed, who for them was Craig Anderson, sign him to a PTO, see how he looks, and then you offer him a contract. But again, the thing with a professional trial contract, which I mentioned in the last episode, is there's no commitment from either team. The Leafs could come out of nowhere and offer him a contract and then just run a duo of Anderson, which would actually be pretty funny, but that won't happen. But it's just an example, right? He's not under contract with the team. He's just on a tryout contract. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
That is what it is. I like the fact that the Capital have Phoenix Copley because he's just someone. Like they also have a couple other younger prospects, but I just think the age and Anderson kind of plays a factor here.
Right. So a couple other NHL stories. Henrik Lundqvist, I'm sure most people have seen this by now. He is having open heart surgery to repair a medical condition he had. We really hope that he does well. There's not much news here to talk about, just an update on Lundqvist. But over in St. Louis, they named a new captain. Ryan O'Reilly is the captain. And Vladimir Tarasenko was not happy about this. Did you see this story?
Go on. I did not.
He has been quoted as saying that you be here for 8 years, you expect to be named the team captain. Now, first problem with that is not a captain's mindset. So I see why he was not named captain. Like,
where did this break?
This was yesterday.
On Twitter or everywhere?
I saw it on Reddit and like there were multiple sources. I saw it on Twitter.
Did you see him? Did you see the video of him saying it, or was it just?
It was
people
a written interview. He had an interview.
Verified. So yeah, wow, that's
kind of crazy. Right? That's like some NBA level stuff in the NHL.
Well, and you don't see that often. So, I mean, he's hurt, right? Like, I would be hurt too. Trust me. I would play less years in a junior team and expect to be the captain. And this guy plays 8 years in NHL and wants to be the captain. So I don't really necessarily disagree with his viewpoint, to be honest with you.
But does a good captain expect to be the captain?
But not when you're at the professional level. So, like, at where he's at, like where I was at, it's a different story, right? Like, you can act out. You can be kind of immature in the sense of what you want and don't get, because you're not being paid for it. You can, in my terms, I took that as a source of, okay, well, I'm going to speak up for what I want, whatever. Right. But when you're Tarasenko, you do have to know what you say carries weight, right?
Right.
And especially
if he's been there for 8 years, it's going to carry weight anyway.
Right. And especially if you're the superstar on the team.
Right. Oh, I just think it's kind of out of line for him.
I think that there's also a misconception that the best player maybe should get the C or something. You know what I mean? Or maybe the most tenured player should get the C. Like maybe it's just the characteristics of Ryan O'Reilly that makes him the captain.
No, I think it's a great pick for a captain.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's not a great pick. I'm just trying to talk about what it sounds like if we're the managers and like Tarasenko is on our team and he says that publicly. Like, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking this guy's a hothead who's in it for himself.
Even after 8 years of pretty loyal service.
Yeah. I mean,
then we don't have much else to say.
I just think like I was kind of disappointed by the comments because I thought highly of the guy before that, and then I see this, I'm like, dude, come on, like, and I'll probably get over it in a week. Like, but I mean, that team's going to do well either way. It doesn't matter who has a letter on their jersey. Like, we shouldn't get so heated about who's the captain of a team. But it's like, I'll use the Leafs, for example. When they went to name a captain, I thought it should have been Morgan Rielly. And it was John Tavares. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Right? And like, we all know it was going to be Matthews and that whole thing happened. And it was moved to Tavares. But it is what it is. And I think Tarasenko will get over it. Maybe he can use this to have a great season. Like the fuel to the fire. Be like, you know what? You don't want to name me captain. I'm going to put on a show this year and show you why I should have named you captain. And he has the chance now to step up and even be an even bigger leader. So, you know, it's an opportunity he can take.
Let's move on.
So what is your opinion of LTIR cap relief? So long-term injury reserve cap relief.
What is there a limit?
So a player is injured for, I believe, more than 10 games or 28 days. I think that's it. Don't quote me. You can put them on long-term injury reserve, so their cap hit does not count against the cap. So Kucherov has gone on LTIR. He will go on LTIR at the beginning of the season. So his 8.3 cap hit won't go against the cap.
Right. Well, if it's a strategy that's been put into place, I think that it should be used. Sure, it's kind of a loophole, right?
Okay, so let me propose a situation. I have a player. He breaks his leg, has to go on LTIR. He comes off the cap. Okay, that's fine. He was on my team. You have a player. They break both their legs. I'm over the cap. I trade for your two players. So they come on my team. I put them on LTIR so I can slip under the cap. Is that not a loophole? You should
Explain
not.
that.
The Tampa Bay Lightning traded to the Ottawa Senators for two players that instantly went on long-term injury reserve, putting them under the cap because they were way over.
The Senators?
The Senators traded with the Lightning. The Lightning were over the salary cap, and because of the trade, they were able to put two players on LTIR, who they traded for, and now they're under the cap. That is a
right,
loophole.
because that's because they got rid of Paquette and someone else, right?
Right. We talked about the trade last episode.
Yeah.
That seems like a little loophole.
But is it though? Like, what about the quality of players you're getting?
I don't think it should matter. I think to put a player on LTIR, they should have at least played like 10 games for you or something.
I see what you mean. Yeah, but it's management, right? Like it's almost like Monopoly at that point. Like, where can I get rid of money? Where can I shed cap? So it's about.
It's fucking genius by the Lightning.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of a loophole. It's cap circumvention.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? And you know what? Good for them. They got under the cap. I want to see them play. Like, it was great. I just saw it. I was like, you trade for two players and then put them right on LTIR. It's like, all right. I mean, they're not officially there yet, but
Josh Egan staying close and connected.
Yeah, like I'm connected to the Lightning.
Let's what do you want to dump on the NFL real quick?
Yeah, I'm sure you all saw the scores. Bills with a huge win last night. Josh Allen.
Most recent thing, yeah, the Bills.
Breaking records. Just an unreal game by the Bills. I'm not going to rub it in anybody's faces too much, but the fact is the Bills run the NFL. I don't care what you have to say if you're a Chiefs fan. I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes. I don't care if you live in Kansas City. The Bills, we're coming for you. We looked so good last night. We're the first team since 2000 to sweep the Patriots. So, and the ass whooping we had.
Stephon Diggs broke like 5 records this year for the Bills and NFL.
So did Josh Allen, man. What? Okay, let's go outside of football because we like to go outside of sports and look at like the broad prospect of things. Josh Allen had that fund for his grandmother, right? That just crossed $1 billion because a fan who lost his, I believe it was his grandfather.
You say billion?
1 million.
Oh.
I might have said billion because I was thinking bills, but 1 million. That wasn't billion. But that fund just crossed $1 million because a fan donated $204,000 that they inherited from a family, and they donated it right back into the hospital. Like, that's what Josh Allen and the Bills are doing for the city. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff. And I feel so bad for Buffalo that they can't have fans in the building right now because that place would be rocking. And I know for a fact you and I would be down there for a Sunday night game against the Pats or any team.
There'd be game over on the streets that night.
We'd be there at 8 a.m. jumping through tables and shit. You bet your ass we would be.
We'd be bringing tables like Pat McAfee, just right underneath the ring.
Just with a name of each player written on it.
On the other team, yeah. On like the Patriots, just smashing through Cam Newton tables.
Yeah, there's a War Games reference for everybody. Yeah, so the Bills lay a hammering on the Patriots. Did you see the video of Bill Belichick absolutely whipping the phone on
I
the
love
bench.
seeing Bill Belichick have emotion, to be honest with you, because it's just something you don't see, and at least to see that he's evidently frustrated with one of the worst records he's ever been a part of, right? So,
Mhm.
what do you think? Do you think Cam Newton's gone?
Yeah,
It was only 1 year anyway, so why not go looking somewhere else?
he's going to Washington.
I hope so. I hope he gets another chance regardless.
So why do you think he's going to Washington? Because they just did what with their QB?
Haskins?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's gone,
they waived him. The
but they have
2019
Alex Smith,
15th round pick. 15th overall pick, sorry.
right?
Yeah. So he's gone. He was waived. On-field play, off-field antics. It's a shame he's gone, but they had to do it just for the betterment of the team. The team already went through a scandal this offseason with their name, and they had some stuff we're not going to get into on the show because it'll be here forever, but look it up. And the Washington football team are trying to better themselves, and I think I can see Cam Newton landing there on a 2-year deal or something. I don't have any insight on that, but I think it's a good fit for him.
That would be a good fit for him, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with his old coach.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think he's going to land there. So we'll see what happens there. So I want to close with the Cleveland Browns because I have a lot to say on that. So let's get we touched on the Bills and I talked about the Chiefs. So let's look at the Chiefs. They had an interesting game this weekend. Did you see that one play they did where before they snapped the ball, they did a spin, and then and then Mahomes was the one receiving the catch, but he got picked off or denied or something like that. Are the Chiefs just screwing around at this point?
What was that play?
It was entertaining to watch, but I think I didn't just screw it around.
You'd think so, honestly, but like, who's calling that play? Like, I know Andy Reid isn't doing that.
I think Andy Reid is definitely calling that.
If that's the case, then I mean, you can practice all those silly things, but who knows? I mean, you practice it to see if it works, right? Still.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But it seems very midget, like not midget, like type novice midget levels of football type play.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but like, oh, it's just people were comparing. They said, "Why did the Chiefs pull this, but it's okay for the Bills to pull a fourth down fake punt?" Well, there's a difference.
Huge difference, I'd say, obviously.
Like a fourth down fake punt is a set play. You don't do a spinner-rama QB sneak or whatever the fuck they called it against a team you can clearly hammer. And they didn't win by that much. Like,
no.
The score wasn't impressive. It was, I have it here. That's why I write them down. I didn't write the score down. Oh, they only beat the Falcons 17-14.
I see that.
So, I don't know. It was a weird play to me. It just kind of stood out. I was like, why are they doing that? Like, if the Chiefs want to make a Super Bowl run, would you rather make a Super Bowl run by doing these fancy trick plays or by honestly just hammering teams?
You like to practice good, like hammering teams, really.
Don't develop bad habits against easy opponents. You did not see, and to relate it to the World Juniors, which we totally forgot to touch on, the World Juniors, talking about the World Juniors, Canada did not start doing the flying V against Germany. They kept up. They rolled out the first power play unit and all that. So, keep up the good level of play and don't try and do that, whatever that went to eat shitty stuff. Miami Dolphins quarterback situation. They pulled Tua from the game and put in Fitzmagic, also known as Fitzpatrick. And he was able to win the game for them. And it's been announced that in week 17, Tua is going to start against the Bills. Well, make your mind up, Miami.
I mean, Fitzmagic for the Buffalo Bills would be something to watch, but it is Tua's team. I think he should be starting.
I just think it's weird, right? Like, pick a quarterback.
Yeah, obviously, it's like this when it's this late, you're like, why are you still announcing your quarterback every week?
It's
be the
week
same one.
17. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, I thought that was weird that the Miami Dolphins are still doing that, and it led to some frustration in the fan base, and that frustration can kind of be reflected in Houston with J.J. Watt's comments about his own team. Now you
Yeah, I
sent me
saw that.
this, and I saw you probably watched it since you sent it to me. What did
Yeah.
you think about his comments? I thought they were powerful.
It feels
very
like it's.
real.
I've been in. It feels like I've been in that situation before, but in the NFL, it's just like he's he's calling someone out on his team. That's for sure. Like he is not someone, maybe a group of people. He's definitely like. It's not. It's not every. I mean, yeah, you're going 4-9, right, or 4-11, whatever they are, right? So sure, you're looking for ways to explain to the fans why you're losing, but at the same time, if you're J.J. Watt, like all pro defensive player,
Yeah.
if you have to hold a press conference where you're holding your teammates that accountable, it's like they seem like your teammates seem like they're still in high school. It sounded like they just weren't showing up to practices or workouts on time. Like it just didn't sound really professional.
Yeah, it sounded like he's trying to get the attention of management, and say like, "Hey, this is what's going on here, guys. You got to pay attention to this because like my team aren't showing up. I'm showing up. I'm doing my workouts, and I believe he is. He's a dedicated player who he puts in work, and you see it in the off season all the time. And I don't know, just
Yeah,
it's
he does a lot for the community as well. Like he does charitable stuff. So why would he want to show the community that his charitable donations go to waste if there's a poor football team in the area? It's like he has to represent his name at a high level because he puts money into the Houston area.
right. And I loved how he talked about the fans, saying they show up here every week, win or lose. Like we're paid handsomely for this, and they're not paid to be here. They paid to be here. So I love what he said, and I hope it resounds with the team. And,
Resonates.
resonates. Yeah. Tomato. But
moving on.
Let's quickly go back to hockey. IIHF, the Czech Republic did beat Russia. That has really messed up Pool B, or the pool that US, Russia, Sweden, and the Czech are in. US are currently playing Czech right now. I can't see the score at the moment because my TSN app is loading. But what's just been your overall thoughts on the World Juniors at the moment?
That was a great, exciting moment for the World Juniors overall last night because it was kind of an upset, right?
I wouldn't say an upset because it's been tough to judge Germany because they haven't had their full squad. And last night was a really good game. Like it was probably the most entertaining game of the tournament, maybe compared with Czech and Russia. But yeah, it's been an interesting tournament, is what I'll say.
You were all over it. You couldn't stop sending me updates about it. So you tell me what you thought.
If anybody was watching that game, coming out of it, you can say that Tim Stützle, not Schultz, Tim Stützle, I fucked that up last episode, is a hell of a player because he dragged Germany to that win. And Germany did have a little help because Slovakia was undisciplined and Germany did get served some penalties, but I thought that was a hell of a game last night. And I was really entertained by it. I love the World Juniors because hockey's on pretty much half the day. You get to see players you don't normally see. It's outside of your typical junior hockey, QMJHL, SHL, DM.
There's a lot more pride on the line.
Right. And these players, they feel the pressure. They're playing for their country. So I loved it. Some games have been crap. Like, honestly, if we're being honest, watching Canada pump Germany 16-2 wasn't like the best thing I wanted to see. Like, would you rather see Canada win 3-2 against the US or watch them pump Germany 16-2, right? Like,
it's not TV, right?
Yeah, like a win's a win to win, I guess, but still, I don't know. It's been fun. We did get an update on Kirby Dach, who will be out 4 to 5 months with a wrist injury. He had successful surgery in Chicago, and he'll be back with the Blackhawks in 4 to 5 months. So that's how it is. But
one last thing.
I just want to Yeah, I just want to line something up for you here. Austria and Slovakia, and I don't know if this will happen. I didn't get an answer. But as you know, with the World Juniors, the bottom two teams in each pool, they kind of head for a playoff game.
2 to 3, no?
2 out of 3, the loser gets relegated to division down. Now, there's no relegation this year, but there still might be relegation games. I haven't got an answer on that. But Austria and Slovakia could be heading for a relegation round, which I think would be a lot of fun.
Well, who would come in next year? Oh, no one would come in.
No one's coming in. It's going to be the same teams next year.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know how that'll work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. We touched on this quickly, but the NWHL got a TV deal. The semifinal games and the final game will be broadcast on NBC. It's going to get more eyes on the game. We're really excited about that. Samantha touched on that with us. If you didn't see that interview, make sure you get to it. Although if you just skip the interview, you're kind of a dick. Go back and watch it. One more NFL story. 2 more NFL stories. Russell Okung wants to be paid half his salary and was paid half his salary in Bitcoin. What up with that?
Yeah, Bitcoin is, I'm not too familiar with Bitcoin. I have a couple people that I know that like use Bitcoin, invest in it, and watch the stock, but I think it's something that maybe you'll see more of. Do you think?
I thought it blew up a couple months ago, then kind of died off. I don't know what this guy wants to be paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right, about it. It's a not trendy, but it has variances, I'm sure. So for someone to ask for that, that's, they have to be pretty sure that they're going to get that return at the same value, if not more, right?
How much was his contract, do you know? Probably a couple mil, right? Like maybe it's just a weird flex that he's doing.
So half of 13 million paid in Bitcoin, so that's 7.5 or 6.5.
So that might just be an odd flex that he's trying to, I don't need cash. I could be paid in Bitcoin.
Right. Well, is it? I don't know. Like, it could.
I thought it was weird, man. Like, why would you just take the fucking money and buy your own Bitcoin?
I mean, you could do that, right?
What's the difference?
I don't know what the difference is. You don't really. That's
there
a good question.
There literally is no difference.
What's the last story in the NFL?
The Browns have, and excuse my language, well, I've been swearing on podcasts. The Browns have fucked themselves because they might not make the playoffs. All they had to do was beat the Jets. All I had to do to hit my parlay on Sunday was for the Browns to beat the Jets. Didn't happen. I hope the Browns miss the playoffs.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, but all they had to do was beat the Jets and they would have clinched. And now their odds are down to like 45%, I think. So well done, Browns.
All right. NBA?
That's you, my guy.
This sucks for the Nets because, they've had such a strong start to the season. We have a couple episodes coming out with my friends about predictions, which I'm really excited for. But Spencer Dinwiddie is a really key asset, like 6th man of the year potential, but now is down and out for probably the rest of the season. That I know you don't watch too much, but Spencer Dinwiddie, have you heard much about him?
I know he's a good player.
Yeah, right. So Spencer Dinwiddie has 6th man of the year potential this year, especially because of the lineup that Brooklyn will have. But now he's hurt, right? So not only does this do impact for him personally, but the Nets themselves, right? Like that's huge. Like he kind of carries the bench mob, if you will. Mm-hmm. If the Raptors had a bench mob and Fred VanVleet carried it, I think Spencer Dinwiddie was the carrier of the Nets bench mob. So, they're going to have to spread out a little bit more leadership now. Right. In terms of, give them a couple of weeks to see how it affects their playing style, but so far they're kind of routing teams. You know a little bit more about this than I do, but Kevin Love covered the lost wages in the coronavirus for the workers, which we saw something to do with Mark Cuban did that. So what was this one?
Okay, so this story's kind of weird because I've read stuff that he did do this, but I've also seen stories that it's been retracted by reporters. So I'm going to go at this 2 ways. If he did do it, good for him. Well done. If he didn't do it and somebody made it up, why are you making that up?
It's pretty harsh, actually. Wow, I didn't know that angle.
Yeah, no, I wrote it down and put it in there because I still think it's a good talking point. Like, why would somebody make up that story?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that you said it was made up or not. It's just the story.
No, I didn't. I saw this like literally this morning. So, but I was like, I still want to talk about it, made up or not, because NBA players have been doing stuff like this. Mark Cuban, I know he's not a player, but he's an owner, was kind of the one headmanning this, because I remember that when they first went into their lockout, like back, what was it, March 12th or something?
Right away. Yeah,
his first interview, he was like, "Oh, I'm just worried about like our workers and the staff and security. Like, what are they gonna do?" And like that kind of hit home and just kind of showed. Sometimes it is more about sports, and like there are people that care. So I would like to think that Kevin Love did do this, but if the reporter that made it up, if they did make it up, that's trash, man.
That is trash.
Right? So hopefully we get some clarity on
Speaking of
that.
something that's definitely not made up, 76ers president Daryl Morey said some stupid stuff around a year ago, or like about a situation that he shouldn't have necessarily touched on. Do you know more about that?
Yeah, so there was an anniversary tweet put out by the NBA, and the owner of the 76ers quote tweeted it and said something. He pretty much was like, "Oh, it would great to have a guy like this on our team."
No. So I think what I saw was that he, as the Philadelphia 76ers, whatever he was, president, GM?
Owner, president, yeah.
President. So there was a thing on his Twitter, on the NBA's Twitter, it was like a throwback. James Harden drops career 44-point triple-double. And it was a picture. And it was like of him in a Rockets uniform doing history. And then he retweeted it. He just retweeted it with like a little caption saying like, "Wow, like this is great stuff." Like as the Philadelphia 70s, like you cannot promote another player, superstar like that. So
well, they got
he's
fined
kind
50,
of like
50 G's for tampering.
Nick Young goes to China. At least he gets to play basketball now. We don't really hear much about him anymore. It's not like he's a make or break NBA star. So
Do you think he'll do well over there?
No, he likes the attention. I think he wants to be in America and play basketball around his family and friends, and especially because he is what he is. He's Swaggy P, right? Swaggy P in North America.
Maybe he can come join the CBL.
CEBL, dude. I think he'd love that because he can smoke up here without worrying about it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, he has some drug history.
Right.
Whatever. Besides the point, MLB, the San Diego.
So there's a lot going on in the MLB, and not a lot of it is like, there's a lot of reports. I don't know how much has been confirmed. I don't know what is official, but Snell is moving from the Tampa Bay Rays to the San Diego Padres in what is probably one of the biggest moves in pitching wise. I'm sure we all remember Snell was yanked early from one of the games in the World Series when he was having a great game. But he is on his way to San Diego. And just when we thought San Diego was done, they were not done. Because then they went out and acquired Yu Darvish. So they grabbed two aces off the bat. They're not messing around. And that kind of, they're making moves, but nobody else in the MLB is. Like usually we see a lot of moves by now. The Jays have been rumored to be making moves. Like nobody's done anything. I think that's because nobody knows what's going to go on next season. Like I've seen reports that a 162 game season is not reasonable, which means you have to cut back on money again, all that stuff. It's like, guys, like somebody make their mind up here in the MLB. Also, did you see this MLB lawsuit?
What was that about?
The MLB are suing 3 insurance companies for $3 billion because they have an act of God clause with them, and the insurance companies are pretty much saying no.
And the act of God would be the coronavirus pandemic.
It would be, I forget what an act of God like definition is.
Well, an act of God is an unforeseen circumstance that you can't.
Yes, a pandemic would. It wouldn't. The definition.
A pandemic is what? Yeah, it falls under that. It's like natural disaster, pandemics.
No, the definition wouldn't be coronavirus, but it'd be an act of like
pandemic, a world pandemic.
Exactly. Yeah. So they are covered for $3 billion, but the insurance companies are like, "No, we're not doing this."
So this will be something that breaks throughout the next couple of weeks, especially because the
Oh,
MLB
it's gonna
needs their
be
money.
that's a huge lawsuit. That's gonna be years.
Right. Okay, but I mean, like in the public eye, maybe you'll hear about it more soon.
Uh-huh. So there's a lot going on in the MLB, but there's also not a lot going on in the MLB. There's no movement, but there is movement outside of the teams, like money-wise and $3 billion. So it's like, I just kind of want to see my Jays on TV again, get the, opening day baseball. It's always nice at like 3 o'clock, you're done work early, you come home, crack a beer, watch the Jays pitch at 4:07. It's nice, but maybe we won't be getting that this year.
Wow. How about we
So-
take this down to
In
the top
so-
5?
And I can convert this for you because in baseball, you have walk-up songs. And a walk-up song could be considered a pump-up song. So we're going to talk about our top 5 pump-up sports pregame, however you want to consider it, songs. So songs you will listen to before a big sporting event. You ready?
So how do you want to do this? Pick
Let's
for
go.
pick?
Let's do it like last time. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
All right. Sounds good.
You want to start us off?
Okay, I'll start us off then. Number 5 is a little bit, okay, I can't say anything. It's personal. So Sum 41, Screaming Bloody Murder.
Oh.
My eyes raised just because it's a aggressive name, but it is like this metal kind of rock that me and my friends who played junior hockey too definitely vibe with for some reason. And it's very mental.
I like it. So my top 5, my music taste is all over the place. I like hardcore dubstep. I like EDM. I like some country, not a lot of country, rap. I'm all over the place. But my number 5 is come in, a Canadian EDM group by Adventure Club. The song is called Crave You. I've listened to that since I was young, like before games. It's a really good song, really good pump up song. It kind of like deep bass lines, nice breakdown. Just kind of gets me in the mindset before a big game.
Number 4, I have something you can't go wrong with. I got introduced to when I was playing AAA Bulldogs midget year. Meek Mill, Wins and Losses. You really can't go wrong with it. Anything in that song gets you hyped up, especially the words and the beat.
Right. My number 4 is also Meek Mill, but featuring Tory Lanez. We're going to go with Liddy. I love this song because it kind of just builds and all of a sudden just drops, heavy bass line, gets you Liddy for the game. No, that's a good, any Meek Mill song before a game is good, but Liddy just kind of hits different before a big game.
All right, at number 3, I got something by 3 Days Grace called Pain. 3 Days Grace has a lot of things. I could put a whole top 5 list in terms of pump up, but they are just punch to the ear, bleeding in your ear type of music before you go out. Just kind of numbs your soul and you don't even feel anything, especially for hockey. You put some hard stuff like there and you really you're just ready to bang through a wall.
Right. So my number 3 is going to be a song called Strobe by Deadmau5. It's a 10-minute and 30-second song. Has absolutely no energy to it, and it just kind of takes you out of your own head. And it's really good to kind of just focus and be like, okay, this is what I gotta do. Like, it was probably, it didn't get me pumped up the most, but it was probably my most listened to song before a game. And that's Strobe by Deadmau5.
I hear you. Coming in, we're getting close. I got number 2. This one's by Jack Harlow. There's a lot by Jack Harlow, but it's called Out Front. It's kind of, it puts you in the zone where you're the main character and you're the person who's got to make the moves and people are relying on you, kind of your existence for big plays, special plays. People are waiting on you. It's kind of what's called Out Front because he's, people are waiting on him out front. He's kind of taking his time doing him.
This is number 2, right?
That was my number 2, Out Front by Jack Harlow.
Number 2 for me is, so in a pump up song, what do you like? You like yelling, yeah?
Yes, check mark.
You like screaming?
Potentially, yes.
You like swearing? You like bass lines? I'm going to go with a song that checks all 4 of these, and that is I'm on a Boat by The Lonely Island featuring T-Pain. Song just, it gets the boys going. You don't have to listen to this by yourself, but if you put this on in the change rooms, it gets the boys buzzing. So I'm on a boat by the Lonely Island at number 2. What's your number 1 song?
So this one is kind of got thrown into the mix today, but it might shock your eyes a little bit. But we got "Split" by Tiesto, probably definitely at number 1.
Well, did you listen to that in the last 5 minutes and make your mind up?
No, you know when some part of your memory gets unlocked as if someone put a key in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of like the words and the song was on my tongue today. I got reintroduced to the words, and that is exactly what I always listen to. It wasn't necessarily I'm fibbing it, but that song with those, now that I know it, I could tell you where exactly, how many games I listened to it and what I scored and just the feeling they give you. And you're right, you know, Samantha mentioned that there's not many words, so you just get to feel yourself in that song.
Yeah, right. So my number 1, I think this will hit well with you as well, and that's "Forever" with, you know, probably 4 of rap's biggest names: Eminem, Lil Wayne, Drake, and Kanye West. This song was played every day before. It would be our walkout song when I played. That was our high school song. It was our goals. It was everything. Like, this song was played everywhere, and you know, that's "Forever." When Eminem spits the stuff in that last verse, it's ready to go. So that's "Forever" by Eminem and Lil Wayne, Drake, and Kanye West is my number 1.
Let us know what you guys think. You don't have to give us a whole top 5, but if you want your top 2 or your most listened to pregame song, you know, we do top 5s to hear what everyone else has to think as well.
Tell us why we're wrong. You got any honorable mentions there?
There's so many honorable mentions. "Cinderella Man" by Eminem.
Oh, nice one. I got a couple. I got "Welcome to Detroit" by Trick Trick and Eminem. The man who wrote our theme song for us, Meek Mill and Big Sean, "Burn." That's a good one, but I thought that was kind of too on the nose. "Frequency" by Jaws, Adventure Club, and Kylie Pavone. "Holiday" by Green Day is a good one. I got a couple others here. "Life is Good," Future and Drake. "Your Fault," Excision Slander, and "Wicked Ways" by Dubs and Stella Rio. Those are also on my pre-game half an hour before the game mix. So.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode.
Yeah, it was. This was a fun one, man. The interview went well. Our discussion was good. I enjoyed it. So, in case you didn't catch the announcement earlier, January 4th, we will be joined by not just the women's hockey icon. I don't want to say that. Hockey icon Digit Murphy will be joining us. She'll be on the podcast. We're going to
coach of the Toronto Six and previously interviewed Samantha Ridgewell.
Right, coach of the Toronto Six. We're hoping to get some more NWHL players, man. Even just women hockey players. If you want to come on and talk hockey with us or any sport whatsoever, come on, message us. We will always have people on because honestly, half the time, Brandon and I don't know what we're talking about. So it'd be good to have an actual athlete on who's playing in a league. Because right now we're on lockdown and the only sport I play is walking my dog, and I would be in last place for that. So let's get everybody that we can on the show. Literally anybody. So, but yes, January 4th, Digit Murphy will be on. We are super excited about that. She's a hockey icon, coach of the Toronto Six, and we got a lot to talk to her about. So we thank her in advance for her time because we already know it's going to be amazing.
You should put the clip right after this.
Yes.
Of what we made. What you made.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay. Also, I got one more thing. Kind of on a sad note. You don't look so sad. WWE and AEW wrestler John Huber unfortunately passed away at the age of 41. It would be a disgrace not to mention this. So we just want to send our thoughts and prayers to him and his family. He passed away of a lung complication that was non-COVID related. So our thoughts and prayers are with his family. On that note, it was kind of sad, but sorry. We will see you on, when we do it, Friday?
Yeah, sure.
We'll see you Friday. Love you. I just realized Friday's New Year's Day, so we'll see you Saturday, but I do still love you.